Take a second to think about sources of protein you ate in the past week. Chicken, beef, pork? What you most likely didn't think about is meat from carnivorous animals. But how come? After all, in theory, meat is meat. Before you run to comment section, I do have to mention that yes, technically a lot of fish and otherwise seafood we consume are indeed carnivores. Additionally, in some regions and cultures, crocodiles and alligators as well as snakes and frogs are also commonly consumed. And yet most of our protein sources come from herbivorous and omnivorous animals. Think about it. Chickens peck at grains, cows munch on grass, and pigs, while they can eat just about anything, are often fed a diet of corn and soybeans. None of them are hunters. They're not out there stalking and taking down prey. One of the big factors is trophic efficiency, or in other words, efficiency with which energy is transferred from one trophic level to the next in an ecological food chain. Cows, for example, consume grass that is naturally widely available and lacks nutrients for us, and turn it into nutrient and protein-rich food source. On the other hand, carnivores, animals that need to eat other animals to survive, present a whole different set of challenges. To raise a carnivore for meat, you first need to raise the animals that the carnivore eats. It's just an extremely inefficient extra step, really. Imagine having to raise a herd of chickens just to feed one tiger. It's a lot of work, isn't it? And the economics simply don't stack up. Alright, maybe it's too much hustle to farm carnivores. What about wild carnivores? We don't primarily need to raise and feed. Taste. Taste is a huge factor in our food choices, and carnivorous animals just don't make the cut. You see, carnivorous creatures tend to have a gamey or overwhelmingly robust flavor that doesn't sit well with many palates. This strong taste is primarily due to their diet. Carnivores, as their name suggests, feast on the flesh of other animals. This diet leads to the accumulation of certain compounds and toxins in their bodies, which eventually influences the taste of their meat. In contrast, herbivorous animals like cows and chickens, which we commonly consume, have a diet mainly consisting of grains, grass, and other plant-based foods. This results in a milder, more universally accepted flavor in their meat. It's also worth noting that the taste of meat depends not only on the diet of animals. It's a complex interplay of diet, lifestyle, and the animal's environment. Yes, taste is rather subjective. We can also quickly adapt to different cuisines, no doubt, can adapt our palate to the meat of carnivores. What is not subjective, though? Health. Consuming carnivorous animals can pose health risks. That statement may raise a few eyebrows, but it's a fact grounded in the science of our food chain. To understand this, let's take a trip up the food chain ladder. When we eat, we're not just consuming nutrients, but also any toxins that the food item might have absorbed. The same goes for animals. Now consider a carnivorous animal, which eats other animals. These animals are higher up the food chain, and here's the kicker. They tend to accumulate more bacteria, viruses, and parasites in their bodies. Imagine your homeboy's pyramid scheme, where each layer above bottom gets more toxins accumulated in them. This biological phenomenon is known as bioaccumulation. So, if we decide to feast on a carnivorous animal, we're essentially ingesting a concentrated cocktail of toxins that the animal has gathered over its lifetime. Not exactly appetizing, is it? Now, on to diseases. Carnivorous animals are also more likely to be carriers of diseases that can be transmitted to us, humans. For instance, trichinosis, a disease caused by a parasitic roundworm, is commonly found in carnivorous animals and can be transmitted to humans through consumption of undercooked meat. So while you are technically able to eat most of the carnivores, it is not done on a large scale due to higher costs involved, poorer taste, and higher health issues concerns. Hope that satisfied your curiosity. If you prefer this style of video, please consider like, subscription, and comment below. Cheers.